Recording.
All right, we're out on the E model, and I've got a wet foot. I tried to get my camera going in time, and I just went through a puddle, and this is going to make for an interesting ride, but I didn't see the ruts, and I got crossways in the rut, and I had to put a foot down, otherwise I would have had a extra messed up evening on my E, and you might be able to hear it. I've got a Barker's full exhaust on this thing. I've rode it once before. I may have rode it twice without the baffle, if you will. It's a spark arrestor, and it's supposed to be a quiet insert for it, and they're universal. So I'm going to give that a try and see how that treats us here. It doesn't seem to have haven't hurt the performance of it so far. I've got it jetted for a more open exhaust, and this thing's got the FCR 39 slant. That's what this E model, it's a 2000 model. I'm pretty happy with it so far. It's a little cold-blooded, but once it gets warmed up, it's a little happier. It's just the nature of having an older bike, an older carburetor. It seemed like the MX carburetor does a little better job, but this is a stroker big bore, geared, 13 teeth in the front, 50 in the rear, and this has got the wide ratio gears that I installed on it. Oh, that's not going to be very fun on my foot. Hopefully it dries out some. Otherwise, I'm going to have a really messed up night. Oh well. I chose to go down this road, and again, you didn't see it, but it sucks. It's cold, and I was about in a foot and a half of water. That wasn't very smart. I'm in fourth. And with that gearing just right now, this is GPS speed. I'm going 50 miles per hour. This bike really likes having that more open exhaust. It's just with the extra displacement. Try as I might, the restricted exhaust just, although it did quiet it down and make it more rideable, it just choked it. It choked it too much for my druthers. So anyway, we're kind of restrained when we do that. I do like this Barker's exhaust with the turn down tip on it. The turn down tip, even with it without the baffle in it, or whatever you want to call it. It's a pretty loud exhaust, but with it turned down for the rider, it's a lot more quiet of a ride, which is nice. Fourth. So here we are in fifth. That's an 85. I got it up to 85, which is hauling absolute balls on the big wheel with a with the rim locks and no balancing on it. On a freaking dirt road. That's kind of crazy. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Or should I? That's such a rush. On a dirt road, mind you. And I'm running 15 PSI on these tires, which I would admit, neither one of these are DOT approved. I do have my DC 606 for when this one wears out on here, so there's that. Yeah, it's probably about 50 degrees. It might be a little cooler than that right now. Yeah, 5th gear with 13 tooth front and 50 rear on the big wheel set here. I can feel a little bit of vibration. It's not terrible. I'd probably be sitting there at the highest part of the RPMs with this gearing, with the stock gearing in the transmission. But not with the wide ratio. Really effectively, the fifth gear is pretty close to a 6th. They spread out 2nd through 4th, pretty much like if you would have 5th gear, and then 5th is, I mean, there's a little bit of overlap, but you know, 5th is a really, I mean, you make all that extra clearance on the cases for that 5th gear, and it's huge. Cases and shift forks, that is. This people up ahead of me have a problem. These people up ahead of me. So I got to figure out what the hell they're doing. Oh, they don't have any trailer lights. And they're going slow. Oh, that's not even a trailer. Yeah, that's 75. Oh, that feels funny on the highway. Wow. Doesn't have any problem with it. Ooh, my right foot. It's cold. I don't like that. But yeah, this exhaust, I mean, for the rider, it doesn't sound anything from the rider perspective like my SM does with the just a straight tip on it. So, man, that makes me kind of want something like that for that bike, because that makes riding it a little bit more pleasurable. So let's see, so I'm in 4th here. I'm just checking my rear brake. I don't know if I'm going to try to do a wheelie over the tracks because I really don't know this bike that well with this exhaust configuration. I had to do a little one. That was third gear with wide ratio gears. I think it would have had a hard time doing that with the stock exhaust. The suspension's pretty good, and I think I might have noted it when I was riding it with the Supermoto set. That I don't know if I published that video or I put it up or not. But the suspension they have this equipped with is a Racetech springs, at least. I don't know if they did valving or not. But it feels pretty good with the Supermoto set, and it handles the street pretty good. Much more forgiving, I think, for going over things. You know, I've rode this bike off-road, and there's a couple videos, maybe just one on here of that. Just lugging along, doing 30 in town here. Yeah, I thought my foot's uncomfortable, but I thought it would be a lot worse than what it is. I kind of would like to go to in the grass field out here, but it rained yesterday a good amount in the evening, and I don't want to tear it up, so we'll save that for another day. We'll save that for another day. Let's see, get our key. Let's see, let's check our charge. All right, sitting there around 13. That's cool. All right, well, we'll see if we'll publish this one or not. See you next time. Thanks for watching.